Right, I don't know where to start. It's been a bit of a week, and it won't end there. I won't go into too much detail at the moment. It's just been a tough week. Um, right, thinking cap on just for a second. Part 7 of my Nitro. What is this? I've been such a while since I've done anything. A Probe VXI rebuild, Part 7. So this is just really a bit of an update. I'm waiting for some few bits and pieces. So whilst I'm sort of waiting, I have been getting on with a little bit of work with this. Most of it you won't be able to see because it just looks the same as perhaps the last video, but I'll go over it with you. I do apologise if I repeat anything that you may already know. So have I got them here? I did buy some springs, but to my disappointment, I don't know if I've got them here to hand. Don't know where they are. No, I don't know. I thought they were there. Anyway, they were 1/7 scale springs for an armour. I haven't got an armour, so I thought that they would fit these. No, is the answer. So they were no good. I bought these because I thought they were smaller in length than the back ones, because the back ones come out at quite a nice angle and work really well. The front don't have that luxury because the shock tower, I suppose, higher up the back than the front, and they're too compressed, so it's very springy. When it sits on the deck, it sits down at the back and up at the front, which I don't want. So again, I bought these because I thought, because the measurements were less, the springs were definitely shorter, and I could see in the picture that they weren't as thick, so I thought a bit softer. Anyway, all that, it's all wrong. It doesn't matter. Ignore that. So these are on there for now. You've got the other ones in the drawer here, which are exactly like the back ones, but they don't fit. They don't do a smaller one. However, I found a smaller one. So these are 1/7, 1/8, 1/7 size shocks. I think the other ones I found are perhaps 1/8. They're similar design, this orange colour, but they are definitely shorter. Maybe the diameter is a bit smaller, which will be fine. As well as I've bought some extensions that go on the bottom of the wishbones. I've bought 2 different types to see if I can elongate them. Do you know what I mean? So I'll put something on here that drops down a little bit, not too much because it will get hit, but anyway, so just something I can try. So that's that ongoing. I mean, the shocks that are on the other buggy that are similar to this, they're probably more like the Kyosho MP5, MP6 anyway. Put those on, I suppose. Why are we messing about? But anyway, I've gone down this rabbit hole and I'm going to finish it. Tyres are glued on all round. I don't know, did you see this before? There's a fuel filter on here now, which wasn't on there before. I've put some bigger Rickenbacker, bigger cable ties to clamp this on more. What else have I done? I've been tinkering. This wheel had quite a lot of flop in it, and so did the drive shafts at the back, because the fronts are CVDs. If you don't know, CVDs, constant velocity. No, what am I saying? What is a CVD? Why don't I know that? Constant velocity drive? Constant velocity joint, CVJs. or Ds. I've heard people say CVDs. I don't know. Can't get my head around it. Anyway, I should know. Who cares? But the fronts are CVJs, so there's no actual movement in the joint to the cup. It's more fixed. There's only a bit of slop on the steering. That's expected. The backs are dog bone, and they slide up and down the shafts because they're supposed to be like universal joint bushings in there. Now, I could have bought those. I have got some. Tamiya make them, TRF or just normal Tamiya. I decided to use O-rings, which I have got. They're sort of over there. I've got a pack of them off of Amazon. So you just buy in bulk, like a crap load of them, and it's fine. So I've put those in with a bit of grease, and the movement in the rear dog bones has disappeared now. It's not tight, it all spins. The only ones I haven't done are the centre shafts. They still move. You won't be able to see this, but I don't think that one moves though, saying that. That one doesn't. This one I think does there. Oh, maybe it doesn't actually. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, that's good then. So the centre shafts have no play. The back ones did, a bit too much, and it had some slop on the wheel which I've shimmed. So that's done. I think that's all done at the moment. I'm just waiting for these bits for the front shocks, all the shocks. Got different shocks coming, and the extension bits at the bottom, which I might be able to extend these out more. I mean, they can go, I don't know if you can see, but this bit here could go towards the wheel more, so more in there. I can't go too far because it will hit when you turn, but we're not down that road yet. Yeah, I think at the minute that's all I've done. Once I've got these shocks on, it'll be ready for probably like a little run and a tune. But yeah, that time will tell. The weather's not too bad. It's weird in the UK. It's like mild, it's like 15 degrees, 89% humidity, and it's winter. Well, the clocks go back this weekend at the time of recording this video, because we're stupid. Well, I know other people do it, but we change our clocks because we're stupid. Anyway, that's part 7 ongoing. So I'll be back in a bit for you once I've sort of figured out the front shocks, and then we can get it tuned on the ground, as it were. We need a dry day. We'll see how the weather goes and see when that gets done. But oh, here we are, finishing part 7 for this VXI probe rebuild. It's been going a while now. I think I remember saying that this would be a running video at the beginning of this video. By the time I've got this far, the weather's completely changed in the UK, so it's shocking. So that probably won't happen now in this video. It's ready to go. So I found some shocks here. They're a little bit, it's the other way now, they are a little bit too soft, but they're not quite as beefy as what the back ones are, which is expected. It's got like 3 settings at the bottom here where you screw them in. I've just gone for the middle one because the ones fully out are a little bit too soft, and when they're fully in, it's a little bit too springy. As it happens, it does bottom out quite easily, but for driving what I intend to do, I'm not going to be jumping it through the air because it's old, isn't it? It's just probably not ideal. But you can see that's the shocks are settled with. They've got little reservoirs on them as well, which, to be honest, I think they need to be like thicker oil put in them, if I'm honest. And I put like an old an old wing that I found lying around. So I just stuck it on the back. I was going to do, I think I might mention in the other videos that I was going to do like a full body shell. I'm probably not going to go down that route now. I'm going to try and get like a retro buggy, even if I get something like an MP3 type body shell. I'll just have to chop it around, won't I? Because I'm looking at an MP3 one now. It's going to be really difficult to try and get one to fit, because these are quite high body posts here and here. It's also going to, it will sit too high. So that is going to be a real challenge, I'm not going to lie to you. But this is done now, as far as, well, I have spent a little bit of money on it, not too much. Electrics, shocks, that air filter, inserts. If I've forgotten anything, it's because I can't remember. I think that's it. I haven't bought anything yet. Oh, receiver, well, electrics, battery, that kind of stuff. Switch. So it hasn't actually cost me a lot of money. But what do you think? Now it's sort of complete-ish. I mean, I'm trying to show you it all. It's bigger than you think. You know, it's almost too big for in here. But that is now complete, and it works. The suspension works well. The front is a bit soft, I'll grant that, but it probably wants thicker oil. The back works perfectly. This is a bit floppy. It's not designed for this wing. It does move up and down a little bit. I've sort of cable tied it, but it's not how it's supposed to be, put it that way. The other one up there has all the mechanisms here for it to move with the suspension, but I was looking for that, but it's impossible to find unless I buy another one and strip it down, because I've got one up here that's complete, more complete than what this was. Yeah, so the running video will happen. It'll be a separate video, I'm afraid. The video YouTuber with radio control cars who doesn't run them. I do, but it ain't going out in the wet. It'll be just a run without the body shell on, because it won't have one. But it's all there. It's all done. Could do with some anti-roll bars. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at one now, so an MP5 or 6. In fact, you can buy 1/8 buggy anti-roll bars. It's where they go, actually. Well, I know they clip onto here, and it's the same at the back. But the back has some mounts which are away from the shocks. I'm not so sure. They have a different shape. Don't know. You could do with some anti-roll bars on it. So, because it's going to do this a lot, isn't it? There's not a lot of like weight to hold it down there, and being the centre diff, you'll spin a wheel up unless you get like a torsion, like, I don't know what is it, like a limited slip type thing or whatever they got. They're mega expensive, and they're about nearly 120 US. But then again, I don't even know if they'll fit this. They probably won't fit this one anyway, because it's specific for this model. But if you could find it, I mean, you could lock this up yourself with like other ways of doing it, but yeah, that's way down the road. I mean, the back diff is, like I said, sort of reasonably locked, where the front's nice and free. Tyres are glued on. Yeah, so it bottoms out, but it's not going to be taken like jumping off-road. It would be like just gravelly off-road and tarmac-ish, but these will wear out, won't they? I mean, I think I've got some like different wheels there which I might use instead of these. I don't know if they'll fit. So they're just worn out, like this, worn out tyres. Lower profile. They should go on there. a bit of a clean up, and they'll be slick. Should I do them now? I ignore that pointless exercise. They don't fit. I thought they might have done, but the hexes are slightly different. So these are 17mm hexes. Now I've got some here like 12mm to try on some other buggies here. So I've got a 12mm hex to 17. So this, you can run buggy tyres on other buggies if you like, with the 12mm hex. This fits those other wheels really well. So they're 17mm. These must be 19. So they're old, isn't it? But I did clean up some original wheels here, so they're not too bad. Took the old side, I think. I don't know what I did now, but I don't remember what was on these. But these could potentially, they're the same hex size. If I get some 1/8 buggy foams and then glue some foams onto the tyres, onto the wheels, glue the foams on the tyres. Talk English. Yeah, so maybe I can get some foams, because this has got no recess on it. So this would have had foam, it seems like foam tyres. The size might be a bit tricky, because they're the same size as what's on here, but these have got like the recess for the tyres, which is where they're glued in. But yeah, so maybe it'll be white. Well, I could dye them, I suppose. No, I won't. I'll keep them white. So I might see if I can get some, between now and running the car, some foams. I mean, they don't have to be done, because these would suffice a bit, but if I use it on a grass or a dusty environment, then these will be alright. But if I run it on tarmac, then I'll have to be handy, I should say, to get something for these. So that's the plan. All that big build up for nothing. A big nothing. Right. I think, yeah, that's the end of this series. This part, not series. You're going to have to bear with me for an upcoming running video. Literally play it by ear. Depending on the weather. You never know, we'll get a dry, freezing, freaking cold day probably. Not ideal, but we'll get this out, actually get it running and turning, and just seeing what it does, just to go like a bit of a preliminary test run, if you like. So that's that done. That's taken a long time, but not much spent, I'm happy to say, even though I try to find things to buy for it. Yeah, it's all good. Right, that's the end, definitely the end of part 7, and I'll catch up with you for part 8. By the time you see this video, the time I'm recording anyway, it's probably going to be 2025, although it's not nowhere near that at the moment, but not far. So you can see by the dates on my screen, and I was keeping to turn it off, but maybe I will in the new year. Well, after this video, because I've got the menu button here. I'm sure I can work it out. I don't need to have the date on there, which is currently the 6th of the 11th 24. Great day at the recording of this video for you US citizens, with Donald Trump getting through. So I wish I was American, I can tell you that now. So anyway, let's move on. I'll see you for part 8, and yeah, well, if it's not quite the new year, happy new year coming up, 2025. What does that have in offer? We shall see. See you soon. Bye now.